Yes, greetings, blessings, welcome to the Justice and Healing and Judgment conversations about universal justice and the common issues that face our humanity in today's reality. I am your host, Dr. Wayne Rose, coming to you live on Calabash TV. Today is Monday, November the 28th. And I just want to welcome all our listeners, all our viewers in St. Lucia, and certainly across the virtual spaces that this program is shown. And, I am a little bit away from St. Lucia, just want to confess that. And I return very shortly, but I want to express how much I miss the beautiful island, the beautiful country, the beautiful people, and how much I am grieved even in this moment because of the loss of my presence on the space, the air, the water, the food, the people. But certainly my grief is multiplied because in this moment that we examine conversations on justice and healing and of course righteous judgment, we are recognizing that not even the righteous is spared justice and healing or judgment. And it is a warning, certainly, to all of us to be aware that even as we speak the words of justice and healing, and even as we call for judgment, that which is already spoken, that which is already willed, that which is already out in creation, will not be stopped. So, the only thing that is left, if we cannot heal, if we cannot be just and fair, the only thing that is left is mercy and judgment. So that will be the theme of part of our conversation this evening. I'm expecting to have some guests with me, and before I introduce them, or even before they join us, I want to share some thoughts because we come to you also through the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. It's a space that we established well over a year now, a secretariat to do the work of enlightenment, of educating ourselves about this process of healing through being just to ourselves and to our community, to our family, and certainly to a deserving world. And in that process, we established not just the conversation, but mechanisms through which we can converse. The writings, the teachings of our ancestors, the teachings of Emperor Haile Selassie I, the teachings of the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey, certainly the teachings of those of us within our community who have a level of enlightenment or the aptitude to share knowledge and experience. And so, as part of my opening this evening, I want to share some words from the divine, man himself, Padamawi Haile Selassie I, as he speaks to us about responsibility. Responsibility. He says, man desires many things, but it is the individual's duty and responsibility to desire proper things. A noble failure may be of more value than petty success. Anyone who makes the wrong choices will be a burden not only to himself, but to future generations. Life is short. One should live and act in such a way that his achievement will bring him and his people, his family, his country a good name forever. If he does not use his training for worthy causes, he will be an enemy to himself and an obstacle to others. He or she will need himself. He or she will be an enemy to himself and an obstacle to others. He will need and indeed will be sick while supposedly healthy and dead while still alive. The obligation to improve one's self does not cease simply by watching others and other people's achievement. That primarily, His Majesty says, is the characteristic of a lazy man watching the achievements of others. There is no person in the world who is free from life's responsibility. One who does not contribute to his community and the coming generation remains a burden to his society and an object of ridicule to outsiders and other observers. It is not enough for the children of, and His Majesty says Ethiopia, but I say the children of St. Lucia, the children who are hearing, in the families of who are hearing us this evening. It is not enough for those children to be recipients of education alone. They should never forget that the responsibility for passing education over to the next generation is on them, as I am aware that the responsibility of sharing knowledge, of sharing education, is part of my own responsibility. To place all responsibility on the shoulders of one individual or a few individuals, while others sit by idly and seek only to criticize and find fault, is to act contrary to the movement for progress and advancement of a people. Let me say that again. To place all responsibility on the shoulders of one or a few people, while others sit by idly criticizing and finding fault, is to act contrary to the movement for progress and to the advancement of our people and our community. A qualified man with vision, unmoved by daily selfish interests, will be led to right decisions by his conscience. And that goes for both genders. When we say man, we say man and woman. A man who knows from whence he comes, a woman who knows from whence she comes, and where they're going, will cooperate with his fellow human being. He will not be satisfied with merely doing his ordinary duties, but will inspire others by his good example. Records of the past reveal the great achievements of our forefathers. It is up to us to try to emulate them, but they will be standing in judgment of us. Those that have fallen on the battlefield have sacrificed themselves so that our future would be more secure. And we, the living, have the responsibility of living to the sacrifice, up to the sacrifice that they have made. To those who contribute willingly, who in sweat and toil work for the good of their families, themselves, their nation, and indeed a deserving world, with little thought, selfishly, to them will much be given, even to the governing of the land beyond, and even this land. Each man must repay, then, what he has received from his country, from his own family, and certainly in the daily drudgery of our going out and coming in. Those are the words of Kadamawi Haile Selassie I. And I share them in the context of loving ourselves, loving our humanity, and certainly doing the right things for each other. And what gives me great earnest in delivering this speech is where His Majesty said, he said, those who have fallen on this battlefield of life, those who are now the sacrificial lambs on this battlefield, who have sacrificed much so that we can even speak more clarified about justice, righteous judgment, and certainly healing. To them, His Majesty says, to them will be the governance of the future, the spiritual and physical future. And therefore, my reflections, even on the speech of His Majesty, must be offered in the context of a very recent occurrence in St. Lucia, a country I have taken as my home, that I feel so welcomed in, and where we've been doing some work. But just as a point of recollection, in August of this year, we call for justice and healing. And we also prophetically said, where there is no justice and healing, there will be judgment. Judgment. Perhaps some mercy, but certainly there would be judgment. Since then, we have experienced loss on our own side, significant loss. And there has been an escalation in that loss very recently. Because last Thursday morning, we experienced, actually, it's not quite Thursday, was it? But we recently experienced the transition, the passing, the murder, the killing, the death of a beloved relative to the Ubuntu family, and more directly, the brother of my right honorable priest, friend, brethren. His brother was murdered in St. Lucia. Murdered. A sacrifice then of life, of blood, perhaps for the redeeming of justice and healing, but nonetheless a murder in the lowest ebb of our human consciousness. Someone picked up a weapon, and as some of the commentary among the people is suggesting, that person or persons picked up the weapon because of malice, because of jealousies, because of the lower self-impulses within our humanity. And they decided to snuff the life from this our beloved family, a brother of the Right Honorable Priest Kailash. And by the way, I expect that the Right Honorable Priest Kailash may join us at some point this evening in our program, but I wanted to reflect on that and to share with the family that when we speak, we don't speak simply because we can talk. We don't come up with initiatives and ideas and programs simply because they sell or they're advertising, they'll make advertising dollars or they'll make us money. We come inspired. We come with a message. We're sent by our own will and our own obedience to speak messages of clarity of what and how and where and when the realities of our common humanity collide, come together, either for justice and healing or for judgment. And, in the vernacular that we all speak coming out of the Caribbean, someone will say, well, the roost, the fowl come home to roost, or, because it's reflective in our own reality. But we were always aware that these are the possibilities, that even as we are on the battlefield for justice and healing, that there will be people sniping at us, sniping at our good energies or good efforts to bring justice and healing. And in the vernacular of Jamaicans, we say, if you can't catch Quarky, you will catch him short. Therefore, if you can't catch, or if they cannot catch and touch some among us, they go for our links, those within our entity or family who they see as exposed. And I'd like to frame that as perhaps what has taken place in the loss of our beloved brother, who is a relative of the Right Honorable Priest Kailash. And to them, remember, even as our language, our own argument, our own position and deliveries concerning justice and healing is still unfolding in our eyes, that this is a human loss. A mother lost her child. Relatives, brothers and sisters lost a brother. Perhaps children lost a father. Nephews and nieces lost an uncle. And the human family lost the energy, the spiritual and physical energy of this beloved brother. I then say to you, in the message of our own brother Dennis Emmanuel Brown, that this judgment is sure because love and hate can never ever be molded together as friends. You know what, producer, give me a clipping of the love and hate, just to remind the family of what it is, what and where we are in our common humanity, as hate seeks to push beyond love and to demonstrate malicious acts in our human family. Let us then be reminded. My producer, please, love and hate, give thanks, blessed
love and hate can never be friends. Oh no, oh no. Here I come with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Envy no one, no wish to be with no evil man. For there'll come the day when you'll be whipped by the father's hand. Leave up huge children. Oh yeah. Leave up past children. My head is anointed and my cup runneth over. Yeah. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Yeah. Oh yeah, now. Oh yeah.
Yes, give thanks. Yes, indeed. I wanted just to share that energy. We have much to share this evening, but it's one of those evenings where the enthusiasm of our energy has been dampened by the loss of my beloved brother and friend and the brother of the Right Honorable Priest Kalish. And I've not mentioned his name yet deliberately, because when we speak the name of those who have passed, we do it with a level of reverence in the African traditions. And we allow the Right Honorable Priest to do so, as he is a priest, and indeed it is his brother who we have lost. So give thanks, family. Bear with us, stay with us. We have much to unpack. And in fact, part of that unpacking is relative to my beloved sister, who has joined us, Sister Avril Dwyer, who is with the Love Our Nation Foundation, coming straight from out of Florida, United States. And our beloved Empress Avril has joined us, and we are going to have a conversation. Empress Avril, give thanks for the eyes, wearing of the Love Our Nation hat with the logo. I know you did that deliberately to send the message. But welcome, Empress Aubrey. Welcome to Calabash TV, the second round. We call it round 2. Oh, it's there, Goddess. You're muted, my beloved sister. Yes, go ahead. No, you're muted again. Watch that finger.
Yes, my Lord. Give thanks.
Yes,
Heart
sir.
of perfect love. Yes, the priest was listening to I program before I arrived, so verify that.
Rastafari.
Yes, King. So, first of all, just sending a heart full of condolences to our brother, my Lord, and just know that the ancestors will usher him in beautifully, and we just give thanks and let the priest know that we are here with abundance of strength, and we're just sorry that this has happened. So, we move forward and continue the trial and put on the Gideon and move forward. So we give thanks for the priest and his family still.
Yes, and of course they are within positive energies and thoughts. And as I said, the expectation is that he will join us at some point before the program goes off. I pray sooner than later. But we're going to get into the Love Our Nation energy and the work you're doing for Florida. But I just really want to re-emphasize this, family. We called for justice and healing and judgment. We're not surprised then when we see the multiplication of this in terms of even our own losing, because it is a fight, a warfare. For we strive not just against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness. And so when our energy is that of goodness and righteousness, we expect spiritual wickedness to be advanced against us. The forces of wickedness is pushing against our good. And they have taken one of our own. They've taken one of our own, and he's young. We talked about, after we did our Justice and Healing Initiative, right after that, someone, a 93-year-old woman or whatever her age was, she dropped out, and they said, she was a queen for many people. And we said, well, we expected those kinds of things because the energy is so powerful. She was striving to become 100, and we're not hitting, we're not throwing shade, we're not trying to create mischief in the minds of people. We want to just make people see that the words we speak are words of power. Our call for justice is one of righteous indignation against the wickedness perpetrated against us. But we did not expect that when we call for justice and healing, and when we call for judgment, that the enemies, the opposition to goodness and justice and judgment would not retaliate. So, I am going to ask the family again to be very mindful as we trod, Yes, you're muted, my beloved sister, but as we trod, let us be very mindful that we are in a time of conflict and righteous indignation against wickedness. And the wicked are always plotting, are always using vassals, sometimes weak humanities among us are used to undermine. The weaklings in our humanity are used to undermine our work of goodness and to bring us frustration. So I wanted to say that, Empress Aubrey, before we jumped into Love Our Nation. By the way, as a recap, share with us again what Love Our Nation is all about. What a beautiful princess.
Give thanks, my Lord. You have to be quiet. So, so Love Our Nation is a non-for-profit that we've had since 2013, and it is focused primarily on the youth and just making sure that they have all of the tools that they need in order to succeed. So we have a program in Dania Beach, Florida, where after school, go to Papi, where after school we help them with tutoring in terms of their homework. And then they do homework for about an hour and a half. And then after that, we have a fun activities such as singing and dancing, not because we want them to sing and dance, but because we want them to be able to follow directives. We also have a golf program once a week with First Tee of Broward. We have gardening once a week, and we also have our newest program, which is composting. So they will see the whole circle of life starting, life ending, and then composting. And so we're just very excited about the program. We also have Love Our Nation in Uganda. There's a school of 850 youth in Mubende, and so we have an office there as well. So we are supporting that as a full-day program, not just an after-school program. And so, of course, our desire is to move it forward to St. Lucia.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful gift that would be. And I expect then that it means that we will be doing a collaboration with the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center and the Ubuntu Movement, that nonprofit in St. Lucia. Is that correct?
Yes, my Lord. That is the desire. And just want to reach out to ones and ones in St. Lucia that may have ideas or needs, because what is relevant to Florida may not be relevant to Uganda, may not be relevant to St. Lucia. So it's very important that we hear the voice of the people. We know that making health food choices wherever you live is a must. And so that's the first focus, and we do that primarily through gardening. So that would definitely be a part of the program. And of course, homework, school comes first. So those are the two things that we know will definitely exist in the program. And then based upon the needs of the youth there, we will move forward with everything else.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. You know, it's partly why you're on the program, because we know you're doing this extraordinary work both in Florida and Uganda. But I'm equally excited because as the General Secretary of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, these are the types of programs that we envision and have introduced in part to the communities, and we seek partnerships. So it's beautiful, my beloved sis. I know you were in St. Lucia in August. You came in for the Jajana, the Justice and Healing Initiative, along with our honorable brother, Priest Napi Jamichael. And I learned that you are returning as part of the thrust for this particular initiative. And so the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center looks forward to sitting with you, and our honorable chair will spearhead that sitting with you. It is our honorable goddess Ethiopia. And so you're already familiar with our honorable sis. And certainly I expect and anticipate good things coming out of that. So tell us a little bit about the envisioning of the work for December. You're returning in December, is that correct?
Yes, so the work for December is twofold because we are involved in the maritime program. And so besides wanting to launch the Love Our Nation St. Lucia, we would like to get a stronger foothold in the maritime organizations and how it works between the various islands. So we definitely want to come to St. Lucia and, of course, spend some time on the mountain. We need that more than anything. Mount Kalish, we are looking forward to those couple of days. But then we also wanted to see the island and then to take some ferries just so we can get a fullness of what it all entails. So we're looking forward to a working vacation, if you will.
Beautiful, beautiful. And the maritime initiative you speak of is the initiative that was launched, and it's beautiful. It's very appropriate, by the way. An initiative that we brought to fore as part of our deliverable during the 28 days of justice and healing. And we see the ownership of our own transportation, cargo, food security as part of our own responsibility. The very speech we delivered from His Majesty about responsibility, and as part of what the Majesty said is that we should not leave it on the shoulders of one or a few. So we're so encouraged when we hear our beloved Empress Avril and King Michael returning to St. Lucia to take custody of some component of that work, so that the burden will be lighter on all of us. as we seek to empower economic, social, and certainly spiritual progress among our people and the St. Lucian family. Empress Avril, it is always my pleasure, and I give thanks for the eye. And you're still with us. We're going to take just a brief moment just for what our producer calls his advertising space. So give thanks, we'll return in a few. Blessed love.
My name is Karima Nicholas. The name of my business is Let It Lather. We produce 100% natural bath soap. All of our soaps are made from natural ingredients, plants, spices, and fruits that we can find right here in St. Lucia. They are homegrown. All of our soaps do not contain artificial products, ingredients, and colors, so they are safe for all skin types. Benefits of using my soaps are that you are able to maintain your skin health with natural products. It helps protect the skin. We are in a sunny country, of course. We can protect our skin with what we have around us. They are very popular. We find them in many products, and we can also be able to benefit from our own local products here. Okay, so I have 10 varieties. I have coconut milk, aloe vera, turmeric and honey, charcoal, hibiscus, moringa, glory cedar. There's a lot. Okay, so they can get in touch with me on my website at letitlather.com. You can also find us on social media, Instagram and Facebook at Let It Lather, and they can contact us through our number directly, 716-9649.
The recent pandemic and global crises have taught us that we need to look inward for inspiration. St. Lucians are world-class in literature, economics, music, sports, and so many other endeavors. In tourism and hospitality, our world-class brands are celebrated. Bay Gardens, Coco Palm, Fondue, Jade Mountain, Joe Knows. Our tourism sector is diversifying, making more room for more St. Lucians to invest in value-added businesses. Our credit unions and local banks have stood the test of time, supporting community businesses. We've inherited a strong foundation. Let's build on it. Invest, commit, play your part in making St. Lucia strong and resilient. Our St. Lucia.
This is the year to be counting. St. Lucians reminded we must not participate.
Non, moi c'est ma frère Emmanuel et jodi a moi qui encourager dernier moun dans cette liste participer et supporter population housing census là qui sont bail qui bien important comme nous sont en nous toutes participer. Laissez enumerators là c'est moun qui ka venir avec petit papier yo pour yo sa prend information ka venir avec mando question ou pe quoi yo pas supposé mando. Moi ka font ça bien important. Question yo ka mando là c'est pas pour connaître affaires mais yo ka mando ces questions ça pour aider pays cette liste développer en dedans bonne façon pas juste cette liste tout seul mais ta commune koto ka rete a. On nous mettre tête ensemble. On nous mettre cervelle nous ensemble et on nous répondre toutes les questions et ben conti bon smile les filles nous. On nous faire ça nous paye by powers là by community and by country by cette liste.
Nous ka compter cette liste, compter cette liste.
Yes, greetings and welcome again to the Jaja and I, the Justice and Healing Conversations with Righteous Judgment. That is how we're framing our program for this evening. And of course, we have a guest with us. We're going to reintroduce the guest in a moment. But just to reflect again on what it is that we are about. We are about adding value to our humanity. We're about ensuring that whatever we know, what life has taught us, the positive things, that we pass that on to future generations. And as we recognize that our people who have been disenfranchised, who have been denied culture, language, wealth, and resources, are now extracting from the very basis of wealth, the earth itself, We're extracting knowledge of self, knowledge of how best to survive in this Gideon. And so we have that responsibility to move forward. But in that same narrative, the polar reality is evil and malice and envy. And that recently took the life of one of our beloved brothers. And although we celebrate the life, we also recognize that it is a loss, a painful loss, especially because he's so young and so much more was expected and desired for him and his life. But nonetheless, we still have the future generations to take care of. And our beloved Empress Avril Dwyer, and I was just talking about that mission that you've started both in Florida and in Uganda. Unmute your mic. And certainly to ensure that we can bring that to on the ground in St. Lucia. And so, as you say, you desire to speak with the people, but in order to facilitate some of this, we're going to go through the Ubuntu Rastafari. We're going to first collaborate and then point the directions in how we can get to, for instance, the Minister of Education, a very resourceful person and office, right, in St. Lucia. That's a good start. We have schools. We have community centers. We certainly have entities in and across St. Lucia, not Rastafari centers, but centers of good people, goodwill. We have, for instance, we have our beloved Calabash TV family who will assist in ensuring that our message gets out. We have the Mount Kalish Rejuvenation Center, through which we administer many of our work programs and collaborate with on multiple issues. And we certainly have community activists and people who are of worth and of note who can assist. So again, our beloved Empress Avril, tell us how you envision getting some of this done. I know you're coming into St. Lucia in December. What is the length of time you expect to be on, so our public know, and perhaps we can do something that visually accommodates your presence in St. Lucia, so you could advertise and promote on a national scale what it is you seek to do.
Yes, I think that December is such a wonderful time because we're winding down the year, and then January starting a new year. So we're looking at a week to 10 days, perhaps straddling the old year and the new year. But if not, it would be just the latter part of December. And so the other program that I was really interested in there, my lord, is the STEM program, because I think that sometimes we don't really focus on what's happening and what our youth are so involved in, and that is technology. And so we want to embrace technology in a positive way because it can be used and has been used maliciously. So we want our youth to be able to use technology to their benefit and not their detriment. So the STEM program is a program that we would definitely like to embark on. And if there are already ones that are doing it, we would love to join hands. I mean, we're about unification. We're not about division. We're about bringing us together. And so, excuse me one moment, please.
Don't be overwhelmed by the child. It's good. We're in an age, a new age. It's the same thing you're talking about. Technology allows us to be in home, speaking in studio on issues of importance, but in homes we have children. It's good. It's very good.
And I am just always so amazed by her. She's 2 years, 1 month, and she is just brilliant. She just came to tell me that she put something in the garbage. I mean, it's just amazing. So, yes, so the STEM program is a really important program, and now we are looking forward to bringing that to St. Lucia. And as I said earlier, if there are already ones that are doing it, we would love to collaborate. We're very much into doing things together, and in unity there is strength. In unity there is strength.
It's beautiful. You touched on the fact that technology has been used in negative ways. Perhaps you could elaborate on some of that, because listen, we overstand the uses of technology, yes? But some things are happening, and I'll tell you why I am pressing on this a little bit and wanting you to expand on it, is that there's a popular song on TikTok, Facebook, and across the social media platforms now that people are dancing to. They've created dances to. And I see children as young as a 2-year-old that you were speaking of, dancing to this song. But the lyrics of the song says something like, we're gonna F up tonight, or get effed up tonight. And I'm thinking that, and I see parents involving their children in that dance to the lyrics and the sound of that music. And I'm wondering if anyone of good conscience is sitting down with their child and having them listen to that and saying dancing just so that they can post it on social media. So in that context, my beloved sister, expand a little bit about what you're talking.
Yeah, it's very disturbing to me. We have definitely gone off course as a people, as a race, you know, as humanity, for the reason that you just mentioned. But social media and just the time that youth especially spend online, it's unprecedented. They spend more time statistically online than they spend with any other human being. So these friends that they have online, that they're texting back and forth, and that they're sharing TikTok videos and instant messaging and so on and so forth, it's almost to take them away from reality. We have to come back to center, because I really believe that we have lost our moral compass. It's just gone. Like you just said, parents are allowing their children not even to dance, but to listen to that. You understand, when you listen to something, it penetrates your being. And so it becomes a part of you. And I believe that, again, we are off course, and we have to take a stack on what we're doing and how this is going to affect our youth in the future. I'm just so saddened by that exclamation that you just gave, you know, that reality, that parents are not really looking at what they're doing to their children, purposely or unpurposely. But we've got to take this technology in hand. Now, on the other side, technology can do a lot of things. Just us being able to speak in 2 different countries right now, it's amazing. And I'm sure that there are others joining us from other areas in the world. And so, excuse me, that is a wonderful thing that technology has done. But just like when the telephone first came popularized, we had to put parameters on it so that we can use it in a positive realm. The same thing with the television, and it just keeps going and going. And so we as a people have to do that, so that we will continue to be in touch with ourselves and our families, and not taking away. Because once you are getting into things away from yourself, you lose yourself, and you never stand for anything, which means that you fall for everything. So it's very important that us as a people take a step, that we put away the cell phones at a certain time of night, after you finish eating dinner. Okay, 30 minutes that you can do whatever phone calls you need to make, or whatever IGs you need to do, or Facebook. And then that ends until the next day after breakfast. So we need to really put these things in hand. There's no reason that children should be on social media no more than 10 or 15 minutes a day. For what? Primary focus, their work on this earth is to be students, excellent students. And there's no reason why our children cannot be A and B students. We were the ones that taught others academia. They didn't know it. They had to come to Africa to get it. So it is in our DNA. It is in our being. There is no reason that we should accept anything lower than a B from any one of our children.
Give thanks, beloved.
To that little realm, but I'm extremely
Oh,
passionate.
it's good, man. It's good. While you were speaking, I heard you clear your throat, and immediately it made me reach for my answer. You know, I'm wondering if you have your answer handy. You see, the answer is an important component of our justice and healing strategies, and certainly we give thanks for the answer. You know, Empress, it is critical. The things you say are important, very, very, very important things. And in fact, as you started speaking, a particular scripture, you know, Rastafari people and our people generally are very spiritual people, and so we use the tools of spirituality to better ourselves. And so I went for the Bible immediately to Psalms 82 and just remember what it says about the earth. But before it says that about the earth, it first says God stand in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will he judge unjustly? He's asking these gods, these leaders of the world, and accept the persons of the wicked. How long will you do that? Judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked. He says to them, defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. Then it says in verse 5, it says, they know not. These leaders, and sometimes you bring it right into the micro level, the family level. Many of our family members and mothers and fathers, they know not, neither will they overstand. They walk on in darkness. And the scripture says, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. All the foundations of our earth. This is why we could lose such a young brother. Because someone in his jealous mind, in his envious mind, in his malicious mind, in his unprovoked malicious mind, he sought to end and did end, snuff the life out of our beloved brother. Therefore, he took the responsibility of the Almighty to end the life. And so verse 6 says, I have said he are gods and children of the Most High. But he shall die like men, small-minded people. He shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Yet the call to the rest of us, Empress Avril, is to arise. Have God from within arise and judge the earth. For I and I, the righteous, the just, the good, shall inherit all nations. I wanted to share that because many times people don't recognize that this is what Rastafari and the mission of humanity is about. It's to rise as gods in the earth and do just, do good, build the creation that has not yet been seen in the human eyes in this or generations. Build the next and the new, so that the earth can be filled with the glory and the goodness of the divine from within us, as the waters covers the seas. Empress Avril, I give you then an opportunity to give some closing thoughts before I ask my producer to share another bit of music, and then I'll offer some closing comments. Empress Avril.
Yes, my Lord. You know, I'm so touched by your words, and of course, we have to say Selah. We have to say Selah, you know. And I just give thanks that I and I can reach for the Bible and put things in their right perspective. So I glorify that in the eye. And again, you know, our deepest condolences to Priest Kalish and his family, his extended family.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes, I.
Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, so again, you know, we just need to really keep our eyes on the youth, you know. And one of the programs that we have that I did not elaborate on is we have a collaboration once every quarter where the children get fresh fruit and vegetables from the patch. And it's usually about 50 bags. And they have addresses of seniors in the area, the Dania Beach, Hollywood area. They map these seniors, and they have 4 teams, and we have an adult driving with each 4 of the teams, and they present to these seniors. And when we're saying seniors, we're saying 65 and over. And so we're allowing the youth to come to them to give thanks for us being able to stand on their shoulders for the things that they had to endure, so that we can now have so many more freedoms and so many more opportunities that they may not have had. So to let them know that they are appreciated. And what we have found is the joy that the seniors get, and then the wisdom that they are able to impart on our youth. And I think that this collaboration is very necessary. I believe that perhaps there was a generation that missed it, that stopped bringing youth and seniors together. And as a result, we don't have the reverence that we should for our elders. So this is something that I would like to work on in St. Lucia. I believe that St. Lucia is a lot more sensitive to their seniors and a lot more loving and the extended family than here in the States. But it's something that's very important to us, and that we need to constantly give thanks and praise to our elders and what they have endured for us, so that we can have the freedoms that we have. So just glorify our seniors and just keep that in our meditation, that we need to continue to have them working with our youth and vice versa.
Yes, oh, give thanks, my sister. That is very sound, sober commentary, both on the work that you do and certainly on the legacy of goodness that is inherent in our people, and certainly in the St. Lucian space. That great nation, this great nation of people who today are members of my extended family, but still have caused some injury to us. We overstand the grief and the pain, and while we seek no sympathy, we just seek to invite ones to think about the consequences of actions, past and present, because they will impact the future and the judgment of the future. So, we ask for mercy, we ask for grace all the time. And St. Lucia, you just listen to the Honorable Empress Avril Dwyer, who will be coming soon to our beautiful country to share multiple talents, multiple gifts, to add value to the work that is already there and being done by so many good St. Lucians, the Honorable Priest Kailash, Empress Ethiopia, the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, the families across Babunu, across View Fort, across the multiple communities that I cannot always remember because I'm still a St. Lucian in training, Sufre, etc. So give thanks, Empress Avril. We love you. We're looking forward to having you again. And we're going to steal a little bit of time from our producer just to get that music from our beloved brother Chronix. And then we will seal. We're still hopeful to have Honorable Priest Kailash join us. Please don't go, Empress Avril. But we want to take that small break for the music. My beloved producer, if you could give us that piece of music so we make...
Wise, get the youth start wise up now.
Now.
Rise, get the youth start rise up now. Yeah, man. Born sufferation and born poverty make them know evolution time. A Babylon invent crime. We need more love flowing in the streets. Children smile and skin them teeth. More love flowing in the town. All community safe and sound. Love flowing in the streets. Work off go and food off eat. More love flowing in the town. People tell me how my sound. God have mercy, all of a sudden everybody a gunman. State of emergency and a bag of tension. Politicians don't have no development plan. That's why every community need a one done. In one order, everybody feel unite. Now you bring the order, Rastafari. Nothing no precious like the youth them life. That's a one thing the amount of money can't buy.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes,
Chat
indeed.
them a chat up about them a bad man, I run up them out and go on. The guns that they gave you are tools that they use to break good communities down. I must the boom and the rum. Fly up in your head, my son. Make you forget, say you a king and start bleach out your skin and a vex like a blood clot clown. Aha, children a laugh and a skin them teeth. More love flowing in the town. All community safe and sound. More love flowing in the street. Where traffic one and food I feed. More love flowing in the town. Come on Jamaica, tell me how my sound. Look how much our son where them kill already. Look how much juvenile them killing again. Future Shelley and Fraser's Usain Bolts. With doctors, with lawyers and all the singer them. African people will like the world already. And through the powers of finally yeah, we are win again. We up and we ready, they not different man. This was the fire and everything I did. Chat them and chat and I talk about them bad and I run up them out and go. Prostituting with daughters, the son them get slaughtered. They breaking our families down. I must the boom and the rum. Where did the government bring come? Make you forget say you a queen and start bleach out your skin and a flex like a foaming song. Or it could be many years of brainwashing. Or the stupids with the big tail. It even might be these pills that they popping. Make everybody feel like a big devil. I feel face the truth and we can't hide from it. I feel ill people that's inevitable. Cause the price of food I make the youth brain damage. Coupled with the crap they're watching on the cable. Pastor and I answer the youth them in the church sick and dying from cancer. Marijuana is a healing and a long time church people a laugh off a rasta. Jamaica government invest millions of dollars to destroy the land race sativa. Bring in seeds from California and then they legalize ganja.
Yes, yes, indeed. More love is needed in the streets. More love is needed across our humanity. Certainly, our beloved island of St. Lucia needs more love. And on the eve, or the heel rather, of the killing, the murder of our beloved brother, and I will take the privilege now of mentioning his name. I have not yet heard from the Honorable. I know that he's always multitasking, and in this regard, he perhaps is engaged in other work that seeks to promote justice and healing. But our brother name, Olson Arthur, many will see from the recent reports in the media that our beloved brother was gunned down in cold blood by the vengeful acts of greed, malice, and envy. But nonetheless, I want to just reiterate the message of goodness that is inherent in all of us, and to remind us to live this moment for the good. It perhaps is our last salvation, because the judgment is already dished. It is already served, and all will face the judge. All will face the judge. So, perhaps, if we have wounded souls, if we have done wrong, evil, and we are aware of it, whether we are a child or a politician, an elder, whatever, now is the time, perhaps, to plead mercy, because judgment has always been sure. It is to what extent you are judged and the punishment that is dished out to you. That's the only question. That's the only question. We celebrate then the life of our beloved Olson Arthur, a St. Lucian, a brother, a son, a beloved member of our human community who no longer is with us because of the malicious act. We send our love, our respect to the family, the extended family, not just to our honorable brother, Priest Kailash, but to Arthur's mother, a woman of goodness. And by the way, our words have always been very prophetic. Not that we take the title of prophet, but we know that we're instruments of the divine. So let me then say unapologetically and with clarity, for the man, woman, or group of individuals responsible for the loss of this life, your judgment is assured. With that then, we say, give thanks for life and the mighty life giver, for the woman, the man, and the child of the Almighty, who lives and dwells with all of us. I look forward to having more advanced and happy moments with the St. Lucian family. And I welcome your condolences, your sounds of goodness, your sounds of strength, even as the family is challenged. And as you do your own justice and healing, share that with those who are deserving. And I bid you well until we talk again. Seeing just more love, one perfect love, we say Rastafari. Whatever you say, just be good and do good. Blessed love. Give thanks, family. Blessed love, Goddess. Give thanks. We'll talk soon, eh? Rastafari.